Greetings and namaste. Deanna here with our energy update. This is going to be an approximate energy update for the very last week of May 2020. So thankful that you're here with me. If you're a returning listener, gratitude, thank you so much. If you're new today, I'm an awakened empath, and my main purpose and intention of this channel is to encourage other people. I love to utilize astrology. I'm learning, and I love to share that with you guys as I continue my journey of that. And so I set my intentions for this week's energy update. And so thank you to help my channel get going and continue to be here and surface to reach the people that I hope that it reaches, whoever is intended to hear it. I firmly believe faithfully that it will reach. So to help me out, please do hit the like button, subscribe if this resonates, hit the bell so you know when I put up new content, and share. Listen through the whole message, take what resonates, keep it in your heart space, and know that some things may not resonate until a later time. So thank you. I want to first share an animal oracle. I have an empath group on Facebook, Empowering Empaths. It is about the rise of the empaths, embracing our sensitivities. And the first message that we got for a weekly animal oracle is the moth spirit, and it is asking us to surrender now. I think that's a beautiful message that was going to go hand in hand with what I already meditated upon to prepare for this message this week. And the reason being is we are in a transformative time, as everybody knows. Intensely, though, collectively. Many people have woken up throughout history, but right now we're on this collective awakening. And the reason surrender is so significant is because we really do not know where we're headed as a collective. We can't go back to the past. We don't want to go back to the past. So I really hope that everybody is tuned in to themselves, facing any of their darkness or hidden subconscious ways of being, so that we can go forward in a new direction. So this is also a reminder of surrender, to make sure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Just like the dragonfly, starts out as a water bug. Once that water bug has reached a certain evolution, it can't go back into the water. And so I think that was a beautiful metaphor for this week's energy update. The chakras that are coming up for me to share this week are the throat chakra and the heart chakra. And I think it's important with our communication to be speaking our truth, having great discernment in our heart space and the heart chakra to know when to communicate and when to back off. It's really about keeping your energy accountable, because things are so intense. I feel collectively we are in this time of healing, a collective of things that we didn't want to look upon, a lot of the letting go of what people told us to be, that then created this belief system within us. And I say that because we have Gemini, the North Node is there, and so then the South Node is in Sag, which is that letting go of belief systems and heading towards kind of our true north. Venus retrograde is in Gemini, and a lot of us have been having, there's actually 4 planets. Venus is retrograde in Gemini with the North Node, and Mercury will be moving out of Gemini into Cancer on Thursday, the 28th. So I printed the chart for that day. There's been a lot of thinking, a lot of communication overload. And so I would just ask you for that surrender, to know what you can handle and what you need to reel your energy back in from. Disinformation and too much information is a huge theme right now. And so we really want to make sure that we are having great discernment within ourselves. I'm noticing major dreams. I digress. Let me go back to the retrogrades. Things of your past, thoughts, feelings of the past will most likely definitely be coming up for many of you. I know it has been for me. The dream state's been amazing. Anytime that subconscious mind comes into our awareness and shows us, whether it be symbols or a thought of somebody of your past, it's a time to redo, rethink, and really allow different perspectives, and to be able to open up that third eye of a multifaceted way of looking at things and releasing things of our past. We don't want to hold on to those things because we can't go forward carrying our baggage, just like I used as the metaphor with the dragonfly. Once that water bug has become a dragonfly and gained its wings, we can't go back into the water. So I think that's a beautiful metaphor to symbolically use for ourselves as well at this time. I would definitely bring into your awareness this want or need to go forward into the way that things were in the past, whether it be in your personal life or on the collective stage, because I don't believe this pause is no accident, and I think that this time has been really wanting us to go inner, especially with all these retrograde planets, to redo and rethink and revisit and kind of hit the reset button. I know Invasion of Space was coming up to me because I just had this coming through to me, like, even if in the grocery store in the past, people were very unaware of getting too close into your space. And I know for me, do not like people as an empath in my space that close. As you know, as an empath, we pick up on the energy of other people. And so without that healthy boundary, we just get into other people's energy fields. So I think that's something that in this pause that people can really utilize. Although many were kind of forced into it, I'm not feeling it as in a fear thing, but on the collective, right, as a metaphor, I'm seeing this as in, oh, okay, well, now you're going to be told to stand 6 feet away from each other, X amount of people congregating in huge collective, whether at a concert or anywhere, doesn't matter. Invasion of other people's space has been a problem forever. So keep that in mind. I would choose to see it in a multifaceted way. I know for me, I'm not in fear at all. I know when this first pause took place, I don't even know, March, I did have collective fear and anxiousness because of that unknown territory that we were all collectively kind of being pushed into by the universe. And that's what happens when we don't face our shadow side, our Plutonian side of us. Whether it be wounds of the past, whether it be wounds of the childhood, whether it be wounds of past lives. If we don't face the shit to heal it, this is what happens. And so I believe collectively we've not been honoring Gaia. And I'm not saying this is happening to be a punishment at all. I'm actually saying this is in having a perspective and a mindset of this is happening for us. And I kept visualizing last night as I was preparing my energy update, the spiral. And many of us keep going forward on this spiral, but as we see the collective fear purging and some people holding on to the old ways, that is the digression of the energy going back down another spiral. And I would highly recommend, for sure, not putting your heels in the dirt to not embrace the change. We have to go forward in a different way. There's no doubt about that. So I think it's another thing with the Uranus energy and the going into Age of Aquarius of finding new innovative ways to connect with people that are soul tribe and family and communication. So let me go a little bit more of this. Mercury goes from the sign of Gemini, which was his home sign, into Cancer on Thursday. And so maybe learning a new way to communicate, a very healing, nurturing way. And then there's always the lower end spectrum too of people being in fight or flight and lashing out through communication with their emotions leading the way without that discernment in the heart heart space. So again, the throat chakra I think is super duper important to allow this pause to expand you into a new perspective. And with that surrender now, to me that's a very Neptunian energy. We have Mars right conjunct with, I got notes all over it this week. Mars is not exactly comfortable in Neptune. Neptune and Mars is that action, ready to go. And then Neptune kind of dilutes that energy of that. And so that's a great, wonderful time to surrender. And like I said earlier, do not put all of your energy into information that's coming out. Because if you get your hopes up too much on one particular outcome, Uranus and Taurus is quick changed, and that is in fixed earth. We are in this time of the pause to really surrender like the moth spirit asks us to, because if we get our hopes and our intentions set too much so on an outcome, we can be very feeling of letdown, and therefore can cause, depression and anger and all of the things that we want to release going forward. So let me wrap up with a little bit more of astrology, and then we'll go into the cards for this energy update. Okay, this one's huge. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget this. So the Venus is retrograde in Gemini, right? Venus currently is our evening star. And on May 26th, she will go into the dark void underworld, so to speak, and will return as the morning star on June 12th. Symbolic as all get out. So this is even showing us that when Venus goes from the night star into that void space, into that dark space, like metaphorically of how we should be to release the wounds, right? She doesn't want to go back to being the evening star. She wants to rise in the morning through this time. And I think that's super huge, and you can bring that into your awareness as well, metaphorically, of going, you know what, no, I don't want to go back. I actually utilized this pause to face my inner things and really reset what my values are with Venus, and rethink and get new perspectives with it being in Gemini, a new mindset, that North Node in Gemini, releasing the South Node, which is that Jupiter energy of what your old belief systems were, whether it be within yourself, whether it be in the structures that you thought had the collective back. So metaphoric. I could go on and on. The more that I learn, the more that I love it, because it's a spiritual and a psychological, beautiful compass to really evolve, like that spiral that was coming through to me in my mind's eye on this evolution. And I know the Schumann resonance has been definitely changing, fluctuating, spiking, and so just bring your awareness with that as well to keep going on the evolutionary spiral. We really don't want to go backwards. So I had much more notes, but to keep this at a time where I feel like I can keep the listeners, if this resonates, I guess I shouldn't matter really about time. I am going to pull an anchor card from the Moonology Oracle. This will be an overall message. God, Creator, Source, my guides, Ascended Masters, Yeshua, and my Son in Spirit, I call upon your holy divine presence. I'm in tune. I'm in my heart space. I just ask that you guide my words through communication to encourage and uplift anybody who comes in to listen. And so it is. So remember, these are always timeless messages. I do want to add that I do card readings for each sign individual, and I started that a couple months ago, but because we are in ever-changing, transformative times, I am going to do a beginning of the month, end of the month for June, so keep your eye out for those. It will be for each sign. I was guided to do that because the energy shifts are continuous right now, so. Meditate and contemplate. That is what you're required to do right now. I love this. To see the Pisces energy of the one fish swimming down, one swimming up. That is, to me, that very watery, Neptunian, spiritual, compassionate energy of tapping into the consciousness of Creator and also embodying that. Meditation and contemplation is a huge time to clear out the mind clutter, right? We have a lot of energy in Gemini. It can be information overload. We really want to pause and utilize the quiet time to encourage us, to gain clarity, to balance our energy fields. And that really is a beautiful and important message right now, because if we don't do that, and if we have too much energy in an outcome, like I shared earlier, it can really cause anxiousness, fear, anger, aggression. And so really bring that into your awareness. I say it all the time, but it's very clear to me that we need to meditate more often. And this is a beautiful time to release the things, face all of the dark undercurrents of the things that we want to say goodbye to. You know, this could be anything. Relationships is just one of many things coming up right now. And this pause has created people who are around each other 24/7. And the people in our close-knit relationships are the very people that we can utilize as tools to learn about ourselves. You know, many of people in this closed down pause time can be really being triggered. I would highly recommend facing that. And if your values are changing and your values and your perspectives are like, you know what, this person irritates me, how can I see within myself why that person irritates me? And then for some people with this Venus retrograde as well, and also the Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter all being very close on a collective, many endings to relationships that we're not serving for our higher good. So lots of change, and this could be physical change in relationships. Oops, held it upside down. So if you go into meditation and contemplation, you can gain clarity there. And how I feel we gain clarity is through the heart space. And it's also that merge between the left brain thinking, right brain thinking, that union of the masculine, feminine. You can gain such clarity through that. So, Archangel, or no, I'm sorry, these are Crystal Angel next. Thank you so much for being here. I feel collectively we're also purging the days of feeling like we need to be a martyr and putting other people first. And we're really learning that self-love first is the frequency that we want to be in, because then we create a better world. If you're loving up on yourself, like I'm a beautiful child of Creator, the universe, God, whatever you call it, I love myself. And another thing for empaths and all water signs as well, but everybody really needs them, specifically empaths and water signs, is healthy boundaries are so important. So we got rose quartz. I love rose quartz. I sleep with one every night. Love life. New and renewed romantic love is here for you. That's kind of a superficial message on that part of it. However, with Venus retrograde in Gemini, guys, this is a huge time for us to rethink and get a new perspective on what our values are, because Venus rules Taurus, so that is our values, that is money, that is beauty, that is a newfound love for life. This is healing as well for that heart chakra, as I mentioned in the beginning. Rose quartz is a beautiful stone for healing. I know with me being a bereaved mother, I sleep with rose quartz every night. I'm in my vessel, living my life, but there's always that feeling of being a broken-hearted mother because I'm missing my child every moment of every second of every day. So I think really it's about heart healing. And in order for us to gain clarity and new values and new perspectives, if we heal that, love is the most powerful energy. So meditate on that. I always like to say, lay down your burdens and your fears and your worries and your concerns to spirit. Fill back up with that presence, and you can utilize contemplation just for that inner dialogue of reevaluating with all these retrograde planets. This is a time for us to redo and reconnect to that God consciousness, and leaving behind that South Node in Sag, old belief system where we thought Creator was outside of us. And that, I know for me, when I had my spiritual awakening about 6 years ago, and I started witnessing the messages coming back to me of God is with me always, so therefore what can be against me, and that every thought and feeling that I have internalized without even spoken, that there was a consciousness that was hearing me. And so I just love that. I love to share that with everybody. What else are we gonna pull? We'll draw a couple of more Mystical Shaman Oracle, and then I'll wrap this energy update. Thanks so much for being here. Make sure you look forward to my June card readings for each sign. I'm going to do this. I break it up with 2 of them for the month of June because we are in so much changing energy. One more, Spirit, and we'll close this up. Luminous Warrior. Beautiful. Card number 32. 5 is, I go by Cryon's change numbers, so I resonate with his sharing of 5 more than anybody. It's raw change. So this is, like I shared, of that spiral. This is you tapping into your God consciousness, knowing who you are, a new value within yourself, knowing the power that you have within you. We're all very, very powerful beings. And through that heart space, through the love, I say it all the time, it's the most powerful energy. So really starting to be that luminous warrior, going, you know what, I'm revaluing who I am. I am a beautiful being. I am love in form. I am energy. What I have is a unique gift to this world. That's another thing with you going into the age of Aquarius. It's a very individualized, unique expression, but it's also that water bear and that community. So really taking forward your luminous warrior spirit. That was another thing coming up too with strong courage, Mars being with Neptune. I also got the download of Mars being that courageous warrior, spiritual warrior, because Neptune is very, very spiritual on the high aspect of it. On the low aspect of Neptune, it can be escapism because you feel things so deeply. So really contemplate and meditate. Call upon that creator source energy. Draw it down into you. Every single person on this planet matters. Your light matters. It's time to be a warrior. Lastly, we got card number 36. 3 plus 6 is a 9. That is a completion number. I know that because I'm a life path number 9. It is the middle world. It is us anchoring in these strong roots of a new perspective of who we are, flying like a bird, soaring high, ending them old cycles in that spiral like I was saying, and really allowing yourself to flourish and let the sun luminous, for again, be that luminous being. But I know with Neptune in my first house, I have to be very, very aware to not get too drifting off into the spiritual aspects of it. It's important that we on this planet anchor into our body, be strongly rooted in our body, creating these new foundations. Again, 2020, clarity of vision, and building and rebuilding strong foundations for a collective going forward, things that are sustainable, and that's huge. I feel personally we've neglected this beautiful Mother Gaia that supports us, and I think this pause is a huge time for everybody to love themselves, honor themselves, honor the planet, honor everybody's unique expression, and go forward with that luminous warrior feeling. That's how we can change the frickin' world, one person at a time. I send this to you with so much love. Again, if this resonates, please do subscribe. If you're new today, hit the bell. I look forward to sharing with you guys again. And namaste.